Welcome to Entrepreneur Eats, a conversation about business and community with a side of eats. My name is Deanna Smith, and I'm your host. Hello, everyone. I am Deanna Smith. This is Entrepreneur Eats. I am with Yessenia Mendoza, and she is the owner and COO of
E&J Metal Supply.
And they're here in Escondido?
Yes.
And where in Escondido?
We are actually on the corner of Rock Springs Road and Washington Avenue.
I'm so excited that you're on the show. I've been looking forward to this interview for a while. I think you're a very special person for our community, and I want everybody to know about it. So I want you to tell me about Yessenia, and then I want you to tell me about Yessenia and your business.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and not only having me, but actually doing a podcast like this. I think it's wonderful. Well, a little bit about me. Like you said, Yessenia Mendoza. I am the daughter of Efrain and Amparo Mendoza, and I am the oldest of four. I am the only female. Mm-hmm. And I'm the best tia ever.
Yeah.
And I love what I do. I love my family. And I've been in business for 20 years. I think the business has taken over the last hardcore 10 years of my life. Mm-hmm. But it's okay.
Well, it sounds like it's been very productive. But let's go back a little bit to you are the oldest
Yes.
in your family and the only girl. So how many brothers do you have?
I have three brothers. I have Aaron. We are 2 years apart. I have Efrain Jr., and we're 8 years apart. Then I have the baby, which is a taller baby than me. Mm-hmm. He is will turn 27 tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. Well, happy birthday to him.
Thank you.
So were you kind of like the little mama in your family with all these boys?
Yes,
under your wing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Still to this day, every day I think about, okay, come on, what are we doing today and what's happening on the weekend? So I'm always trying to organize everything, get everybody rallied up.
Yeah, I feel like the firstborn is always like the person in charge.
Yeah.
And so you are the eldest of four. So are all of your brothers involved in your family business?
Only one isn't. That's Efrain Jr., and he works at Children's Radies Hospital in San Diego.
Oh, wow. That's very different than the metal business.
Eventually, he will come back, sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. But he was part of the original team.
And so your father started this company with his brother?
With his brother, yes.
How long ago?
20 years ago.
Well, congratulations. 20 years in business is a tough run sometimes.
Thank you very much. It really has been a roller coaster.
As are lots of family businesses. You have so many dynamics. You have the actual business that has to go on day to day. And then you have all of the different personalities and your culture is all involved in your business.
Absolutely.
Tell me some of the hardest things that you've had to overcome as a family business.
So it's a struggle sometimes. Like we talked about it, you have different personalities, you have different age groups as well. I think the hardest part is separating, mom and dad from, okay, you're employee number one, number two, or you're the secretary, you're the president, you're the operations officer. That is my biggest struggle. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think we've been able to manage it. Just, okay, let's sit down and talk again. Mm-hmm. If things, kind of go sideways here and there, we'll come back to it. At the end of the day, I don't give up.
Well, you just can't, not in a small business, and with all those family dynamics, you just have to power through. And do you feel like the most important thing in your business is the productive communication?
Absolutely.
What does that look like? What does productive communication look like for you?
For me, it looks like constantly going out and double checking with the guys. So I start off our day with a staff meeting. We go over, orders, any deliveries, anything that was left pending from the day before. But even throughout the day, because every day is different. We don't know if we'll have 10 walk-ins, no walk-ins, and that will throw us off. But, we want to make sure that we're attending not only to previous orders and getting them out on time, but also if somebody walks in and they need 10 pieces of, a half-inch round bar. We got them. Load them. Let's go. And keep it moving. I don't ever want to turn anybody away because we're, too busy or short on anything. So constantly communicating with the guys outside. We do carry radios. Sometimes they don't like that, but that's okay. But I'm constantly communicating with them.
And is it difficult to help them hear you? People can hear you, but they don't listen.
I actually took a tip from an older community person years ago, and where she told me that men and women do not listen equally. And I took that into practice, and it's very true. You know, just because I can handle multiple things does not mean the guys can. So I had to learn to be okay with repeating myself or going back and maybe checking within a half an hour, 45 minutes, to make sure that I was clear and not expecting just because I got it right away, they did too. So definitely, we're two worlds.
But so important. So when you have that understanding of communication and listening and hearing each other, it makes a world of difference and probably makes your life easier to be more productive in your day. Give me an example of things that you do in the day. And the guys, are they moving slabs of metal? Are they moving truckloads of rebar? I don't know.
Okay, so like I said, we start with our staff meeting, and then they go out. They're out in the yard. I typically try to check in again within 30 minutes, but we might have some deliveries from the day before, orders that were placed, and we have walk-ins. So they're moving stuff around so that they're putting orders together. But then there's days where it's pretty hectic because we get a trailer with up to 48,000 pounds of material, and it's all random sizes, and you got to make sure we cleared the space. Dad's on the forklift unloading, and the guys have to be on top of what's going on around them, and then we might have walk-ins at that time, and the customers get excited. It's like, oh, what did you get? And so we got to all jump in. I'm usually out there taking pictures, then I'll later edit and post on social media, but that's one of our craziest days, when we have these 26-foot trailers with, like I said, 48,000 pounds of metal. Other slower days, it's more, okay, take out, 10 pieces of this, tubing or some sheets. Everything pretty much is stocked in its longest form, which is up to 24 feet. So it's a little bit of maneuvering. I can even tell you about it one time how I learned that I don't order 40-foot steel tubes at one time. And that was a learning experience for me, because right there, my dad's like, look at the yard. This is the forklift. This is how it's going to move. How do you go? And I'm like, oh my, you're right, Dad. I never again.
Oh my gosh. So what did you do? Did you have to cut it in half?
No, he managed, but he showed me, you got to always be mindful of the forks being so high. That is dangerous. You can hit the racks on the side. So you got to be mindful of your circumference of your yard. And that was one thing that I didn't. I was so excited that I had this huge order. There were actually some beams. We had a customer, he was building his house, and so he needed some 40-footers. And after that, I created a new policy. We don't bring in or deliver anything longer than 24 feet.
Well, that's a good learning lesson.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if my dad hadn't have been there, I don't know what I would have done. It probably would have been cut it. What can I do to manage getting what the customer needs without destroying that piece of metal.
So your dad was in business for 20 years, and you've been in business with your dad for the last 10 years, and you're still learning things every day from him.
Yes, but actually we've been in business together for 20, and then he was in business, well, I shouldn't say in business, he worked for a different metal company for about 30 years. And just going back a little bit about between my dad and my uncle. So they started off the same metal company, and then my dad was transferred to one in Temecula. So it was, they got split up. And his other brother, my older uncle, Jesus, ended up being the driver over there. So all the three guys were in the metal business. Then they wanted to venture and try to do this on your own. I thought, you guys are crazy. But I was actually going to school for business administration at the time. was trying to do my own thing, and then I saw the need, and at first I was just helping, and my dad's like, I really need you to come in and help, and I was like, all right. And so it's been 20 years from that, but yeah, he has a lot of experience that even though I've been with him for 20 years, I know there's so much more that I still have to learn to continue.
How does technology affect the metal world?
Well, I think it affects a little bit more when we get into the servicing part of it. Not necessarily the material in the raw, but when we bring it in and people want to manufacture something and then they'll need special cuts, there's awesome machinery that I really hope that one day we can get our hands on so we can start providing these special cuts. And it's fascinating to see. I've got a customer down the street who, he buys 4-foot by 8-foot sheets and puts it in the machine, programs it, and boom, he's got beautiful artwork. And I'm like, wow, how did this? She just became this beautiful sign or custom designed anything, really.
Is it a laser machine or something?
Yes, there's laser machines, there's water jets. There's just so many, and just little parts that can be made out of this huge piece of a sheet that they're going to cut up, weld into, manufacturing products. And I'm just like, oh, I never knew. But for now, we just have regular cutting. We typically cut a 20-footer, that 24-footer, into either 3 sections and half, just for transportation purposes. The majority of the cuts, when they get nitty-gritty, the customer will do that, because then they're going to go and install, or they're going to get primed, painted, and welded together to make something beautiful.
What is the most common use of metal from your customers?
The most common use is going to probably be gates and racks. I've seen beautiful entry gates. Also, one that I did at my house a couple of years ago was our fireplace doors. It was decorative, so I got to see my material come in the raw. One of our customers turned it into this beautiful, it had these leaves and the grapes as the handles. And I remember he did it in the summer. I was like, I want to turn on my chimney. I want to see the fire through the doors. But it was awesome to see some flat bars and some square tubing turn into this beautiful 2-door chimney.
Wow. That sounds beautiful. So there's a lot of artistry in metal.
Yes, there is.
Oh.
Yeah. I like to see when customers come in and they're creative. So they start explaining, oh, I could do this, and I'm going to make, and I'm like, I don't see that. And then they show me what they made, and I'm in awe, because to me it was just a piece of steel. And they forged it, they cut it, welded it, and I look and I go, you blow my mind every time. It's beautiful.
Wow. That's very, very cool. Do you have any of these pictures on your guys' website?
Not a whole lot of our customer jobs, just because I confuse people. I tried it, and then they asked me if we do it. But what I do like to do is I'm a reference to any customer that might come in and would want something. So I have an area where our customers leave their business cards. And so then I explain, like, you could do this, give them ideas. We're getting a little bit more into providing all the decorative iron components. So we'll have a display in the office. Then we start going over things with them. And then I love to refer our customers over to them.
So you talk about all of the artistry in metal. We're not all artists, or very few of us are artists. Who's your target audience? Who do you want to sell to?
Well, that's a great question, because I had to learn that on my own. I didn't understand. It was, again, seeing the metal and going, what is this going to turn into, Dad? So I had to really research and say, okay, well, who is our ideal customer? And if you want to put a title to it, it's going to be a welder. That is the most common job that would deal with this. But we have artists that, again, they're going to end up doing some sort of cutting and welding, but that's not their, job. they're an artist. Then I have schools or districts that come in. They have all the maintenance stuff, and they've got to do some repairs. I have companies that do all the maintenance for residential and commercial properties, and all of a sudden they need some repair stuff. So anybody who has to do welding, cutting, or artwork is who I'm targeting.
What about the homeowner who wants to do those special projects?
Yeah, again, they'll come in. Sometimes they'll ask questions because, we tend to ask more. We don't just want to have you come in and, what do you want? Here you go. Goodbye. We make you feel at home, and then we ask questions because sometimes maybe that's not the best project or material for your project. So we end up, again, referring a lot of our customers to other customers. They're going to come in and just need, and I can give you a perfect example. When COVID hit, I thought, oh my God, what are we going to do? The doors are going to close. We're not going to be able to survive. We have our big customers that, they come in and they're constantly producing. And all of a sudden I had one walk-in, two walk-ins, and, well, I'm stuck at home, so I need to repair a ladder, or I'm going to go ahead and do a fence. So I picked up during COVID because everybody was at home, and all of a sudden now they had time to repair. So again, anybody from just a homeowner who needs to do some repairs around the home to welders, maintenance, big jobs.
That's very interesting. All that metal is not just metal,
Yeah.
especially to the artists. When they take a look at the slab, they see something special, and then they show you what they've created.
Yeah. That's where my love of what I do came in. Like I said, I was going to school when my dad and my uncle decided to open up the shop. And I would understand, and I said, I could definitely do the administration of the business. That's easy to me, the number side. And once I understood how the material came in and why it needed to come in bulks of 20 feet, 24 feet, because not everybody's going to cut it down to the same size. It's going to be created to something different. And I saw a customer's work. That's when I fell in love with metal. I was like, how did this, by cutting, burning, forging, become this beautiful piece of gate, or just even a repair? I have a lot of people that will just walk in and just need a simple repair at home. And so I'm like, wow, that by the pound piece of steel made something happen at your home. So awesome.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
What do you think the future of E&J Metals looks like for you?
I definitely know we have room for improvement. I would like to see us grow into another location. I think between my brothers and I, we could get into providing service further north.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of steel companies down south, bigger companies. I think what sets us apart is the family aspect and treating customers like family. But I do have a desire. There's a little light in me that has been turned on that would like to see a second location.
It's very ambitious. I hope it works out.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
This where we're at now at 610 Rock Springs Road. We've been there for 15 years. Our first location was over at 2414 Vineyard Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
It is now actually Auto Parkway. After the hospital was there, they changed that whole name on that street. But we were there for 5 years. So I definitely feel like we outgrew 610 Rock Springs right now. Need more room. So I think that's where that desire came. I'm like, maybe we could do this.
It's amazing that you recognize the progress
Yes.
and you have a vision for your company.
Definitely.
That's wonderful. That's true entrepreneurism.
Yes.
Well, I can't wait to hear or see you grow and see if you open up that other location in wherever it is, north of us. But don't go too far.
No, never.
Yeah. Did you grow up here in Escondido?
I did. I was born and raised right here in Escondido. I went to school, Rose, Grant, it's now Mission, and I graduated from Orange Gun High School.
I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about your involvement with the Escondido Chamber of Commerce and when you decided, why you decided, and how long have you been at the Escondido Chamber of Commerce?
So I've been involved with the chamber now for 7 years. And the first event I actually attended was a Young Professionals back over at SIP. And so I actually reached out to an email that I came across online because we were interested in the Grand Avenue Festival. And so, I huddled the guys and I said, we need to get our name out there. A lot of people still don't know we're around and we need to do something. And so one of the guys was like, what if we go to Street Fair? Well, let's find out. What could we do? And I kid you not, the next day at the time, Claudine was our membership director and she showed up. And I was like, oh my. And, she's like, I wanted to come out and meet you. And here's a membership package. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. Somebody took the time to come out and check us out. And that impressed me. And she invited me to the Young Professionals, and I went. And I remember I grabbed my brother and my sister-in-law and said, just stand by me. I don't know who I'm going to meet, so I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. And my sister-in-law was like, you know everything about the NJ. And I'm like, just stand by me. And it was awesome. Once I was there, everybody was super friendly. And I got to know a little bit more about what the chamber was because I really had no idea. And I remember at the time, Mark Mendoza was an ambassador. And I was like, wow, what is an ambassador? And he's like, if you really want to get involved and get to have referrals from within the chamber, that's your best bet. I thought, okay. And so he introduced me to a couple other ambassadors, and sure enough, within a year, I was an ambassador.
Wow, that's
awesome.
awesome.
Okay, cool. I'm going to all these events, getting to know new people, and then the medal is always fascinating because they don't know. What do you mean? Medal? How? And so it's always a great conversation. And slowly but surely, I wanted to know a little bit more about what goes on in board meetings, who makes decisions and how does that go? And so I was then asked to be on the board, and it's been a time of learning for this is my 6th year on the board. And just over the last 3 years, really pushing into where's the organization going? How do we help our members? And what are the needs out there for new business? In the last 7 years, the community has changed, the business world has changed. So that's, I think, why I remained.
And I really think that the chamber is just a special place.
Yes.
I feel like our chamber, our Escondido chamber, is just a little bit different than any other chamber because of our community being so
Yes.
close and involved.
Yeah, and we have, itty bitty startups to, corporate. We've got anything from lashes, wigs to neighborhood health care. And I love that because I know where I can go get my eyelashes, but I have a resource to anything that has to do with neighborhood, or wellness. So to me, that's the biggest plus in being involved so much is being that connector and knowing every sector.
Would you say anything in particular about how the chamber has helped you grow as an individual?
Yeah, definitely. I have grown in knowledge. I took the time to see what these community meetings were about. When I first started, I was really thought about just going to events because it was after work. I didn't have the time during the day to step away. But then I started hearing other ambassadors that were able to make them, and I said, well, then what is economic development meeting for? And then I thought, oh, well, I could still make a connection there, but also know what's going on with Escondido. Mm-hmm. There's going to be construction or something new's coming along. We have, our health committee and our luncheons, and taking the time there, I said, okay, I have to step away with knowledge. For me to step away from the shop and leave the guys behind, I need to come out with something I learned. And I've learned a lot.
Your investment of time has definitely paid off.
Yes, definitely. And it's been a lot of time. But yeah, now I look back, and again, I have a lot of our customers that will come in and they know, because we're always talking about, or always have something posted at the shop, in the office, about what the chamber is doing or what's going on in Escondido, always supporting. But they come to me and will ask me, hey, what about this permit, or what do I do? And I have customers from all over North County, right? So they're not just Escondido, but to at least go beyond the fact of getting a flat bar for them or a piece of sheet, that I can help them grow a little bit more, or allowing information to go that way with them so that they can grow. That's awesome.
It's a bonus in your business.
Yes.
Well, congratulations for your growth.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to let our listeners know about the struggles of a young entrepreneur, female in the metal business?
Oh, yes. Again, you can't give up. You really can't give up. It's a male-dominated industry. And, I think I'm going to get emotional. Mm. My dad has really shaped me. He's a strong-willed man. But with that, he's taught me, you got to go out there. You got to get in front of the front lines and keep at it. You can't take no for an answer. You got to keep moving forward. And we've struggled. 20 years have not been easy. Money is always an issue, one way or another. So, you've got your dreams, and literally dreams, blood, and sweat have been put out over the last 20 years. But don't give up and learn. Take the time to get involved within the community. There's so many resources out there. If you need to know how to, take on social media, marketing, everything we started from scratch. We didn't go out and hire because we couldn't, not because we didn't want to. Right. We literally couldn't. But definitely, get yourself prepared to get up early and go to sleep a little later, because you're taking the time to learn. And again, it's an investment of not only your money but your time, and it'll come back tenfold.
I agree. It takes a lot of passion and a lot of drive. So you obviously have both of those, and it sounds like you have an amazing family that powers through just about everything. I mean, there are so many things that happen in a business that the customers never see in the struggles. There's that saying about you only see the tip of the iceberg.
Correct.
That's exactly what a family business is all about.
Yeah. It's been a struggle, and you're absolutely right. There's so many things that happen behind closed doors when you're not only dealing with the business side of the struggles, but then you have family struggles. And you gotta, change your face. It's showtime. You open the door and leave that behind, and it's a blessing in disguise sometimes, but it's hard to see the blessing when you're going through a struggle.
Would you trade it for a desk job for a ton of money?
No. I'm so proud of the journey we're going to continue, God willing. I have a satisfaction that I wouldn't be able to buy with money. Just having to see my dad, where we started with my uncle and my cousins, because at the time it was my uncle and my cousins and my brothers and myself, and come a long way to see, we're still here and we're going to continue. And having dad and mom, right now they're getting back from vacation today. So allowing them to go and enjoy the fruit of their work is awesome.
Well, congratulations on all your success, and I wish you the most amazing success in your future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.